Ooh yeah, fresh batteries. Can't you dig it, baby? Yeah! Grab a snack, grab some crack. Jive talking with the keyboards back. Hanging out with Shane boy. Let's get in some jiving talk. Don't need to squawk or gawk. It's time for the jiving talk. Heavy metal news and hard rock. Take a taste of the Jive Talkin talk. God dang, that was good. Let's put that one down as like one of the best. So much nicer when I don't have to do anything. I can just hit a button on there and it just plays the songs pre-recorded that I've created myself, of course. Welcome back, one and all, to Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo, episode 38, I do believe. Look at this fella right here. Blackie Lawless. Love me, Blackie, love me true, lay down in my bed. First story up here says that Wasp Blackie Lawless says he owns the bed that once belonged to Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. How does Blackie Lawless end up with his bed? It's not the main bed, right? Because they keep the main bed at the Graceland. The one where he would have sex with the coitus and the ladies. And didn't he have a monkey and he ate peanut butter and banana sandwiches and all sorts of stuff? Let's get into this and find out what happens here with Blackie Lawless. Wasp frontman Blackie Lawless has penned a blog post. Does he have a blog? I hope there's somewhere where we can go to read Blackie's blog, and I hope it's called Blackie's blog. About one of the most iconic figures in American music, Elvis Presley, who passed away in 1977 at the age of 42. Lawless, whose real name, I didn't know okay. Stephen Duran? I had no clue. He's always been Blackie Lawless to me. He always will be Blackie Lawless. His name's Steve Duran. Now, this August 16th, let's see. This is a quote. Steve Duran wrote, maybe that's his blog. He's going under an alias or something, Stephen Duran. He wrote this. This August 16th will mark the 45th year of the passing of Elvis Presley, the undisputed king of rock and roll. There is really nothing I can say about him that has not already been written about, his life or his genius. Those that know me know I am a huge fan, huge Beatles fan. Blackie, Elvis wasn't in the Beatles. So is he saying he's a huge fan of Elvis and the Beatles? The basic two-part vocal harmonies that they did would become the foundation of what Wasp has done for 40 years. They too had multi-generational genius that will resonate as long as there are people with ears to hear. But I'm writing this to mark the passing of what myself and many, many others believe was the greatest single entertainer and influencer of our time, and possibly in the history of the world. We look at images of him, movies and documentaries about him, the recordings that have been soundtracks to all of our lives, whether we're conscious of it or not. And most of us understand that we're seeing something we will most likely never ever see again. I mentioned the Beatles. I know that he's not actually a Beatle. Are you crazy, Shane, you stupid son of a bitch? I know that he's not a Beatle. He's also a hero along with the Beatles that I like. They and Elvis Presley are the only artists to sell over 1 billion records each. There is a small, rarefied group of artists that have broken the 100 million sales mark. I'm going to say Metallica is one of them. But none of them are over 200 million. None, I tell you. Not a dang one. There's none over 200 million. Those are remarkable careers and numbers that few will ever obtain. With the current state of record sales, it's doubtful any future artist will ever break 100 million again. Elvis Presley's record sales now sit at approximately 1.8 billion. None of us will ever witness anything like him ever again. Whatever anyone may feel about him, we were, without question, privileged to see this truly supernatural force of nature. He was a supernatural force, I tell you. Oh, he's still going here. About 15 years ago, I had the opportunity to buy the house he owned in Palm Springs, California. I kick myself now for not buying it when I had the chance, but I was privileged to buy the furniture that belonged in his master bedroom. I bought the master bedroom and the chest of drawers. It's some people call it Chester drawers. I call it, I have now started calling it the chest of drawers, but for years I've called it Chester drawers. I bought the master bed, the chest of drawers, end tables, chairs, and lamps. I have set it up in one of my rooms in my house, and sometimes I'll go in there and just look at it and try to imagine Elvis Presley naked. No, imagine what may have been going through his head at this point in his life. I never had a chance to meet him, but I've studied him all my life. My mother told me that when I was 2 years old, she would take me to the grocery store, and I'd crawl down and out of the cart, and there would be a creepy man standing in the ice cream aisle. No, wait. She told me I would climb down the grocery store and I'd crawl down out of the cart, and there would be a crowd of people standing around me as I was performing Hound Dog. You ain't nothing but a hound dog crying all the time, complete with all the moves. She later said she should have known then that what I was going to do for a living. Let's see. There keeps being quotes and stuffs. We're just going to keep going here. The new movie Elvis is terrific, and Austin Butler should without debate win the Oscar for Best Male Actor. So there's Elvis movie. But the movie tells a sad but accurate account of a man that was just given way too many gifts. No human being should ever be cursed to carry that monumental degree of burden. Some say it was the drugs that took his life at such a young age, but I believe those were only symptoms. It was a gift. It was a gift that took him away. It was the gifts that took him away. Without dreams, men perish. The Bible also tells a cautionary tale of another king, King Solomon. The description of him is eerily similar to Elvis, because King Solomon also climbed out of a cart at 2 years old and sang, "You ain't nothing but a hound dog, a baby crying all the time." He also was given too many gifts, and they too eventually took his life. Another historical account says, and Alexander wept, seeing as he had no more worlds to conquer. Speaking of Alexander the Great, these were men who suffered this thing most of us aspire to be, but as humans, we can resist anything except temptation. There have been many, many great rock and roll artists without whom rock, as we know it today, would never have happened, but none greater than the King. Without him, it is just simply would not exist. Long live, I say, long live the King. Wasp's first live performance since December 2019 took place on July 23rd at Skansen in Stockholm, Sweden. A week later, July 30th, Wasp also played a Skogsrensön festival in Reinmyr, Sweden. Wasp recently postponed its European 40th anniversary tour, originally scheduled for spring of 2022 until to the spring of 2023. The new dates will take place in March, April, and May of 2023. All tickets previously purchased are going to be valid for that. So there you have that. He owns the bed. I often wondered what he did when he laid there naked in the bed like that at night with a peanut butter and banana sandwich. Oh boy, remember last week when we talked about Andy McCoy saying bad things about Nikki? He's clapped back. He snapped back. Is that what, snap back, clap back? Nikki Sixx fires back at Andy McCoy. He's just trying to sell a book, an album, or a club tour. See, the most biting bit of this, the most pungent, venomous bite is or club tour. Because Nikki Sixx wants Andy to know, while I'm on the stadium tour, and it's called the Stadium Tour, you might be at some rinky-dink little club tour. So let's see what's going on here. Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx has fired back at Andy McCoy, saying Hanoi Rocks guitarist is just trying to sell a book, an album, or a club tour. In recent weeks, McCoy had given several interviews in which he slammed Sixx over his account of his heroin overdose as published in Crue's best-selling band autobiography, The Dirt Confessions of the World's Most Notorious Rock Band, and The Dirt Biopic, which I have still not watched. On Saturday, August 13th, Nikki took on to his Twitter. Guys, he got onto Twitter. Andy McCoy, this is the quote from Nikki Sixx's. Andy McCoy has been on a rant saying I never thanked him for saving my life after a heroin. And then there's a link, for whatever reason, overdose dot something. It's true. I also never thanked him for getting me the drugs during my deadly addiction that night. Oh, geez, there's a snap. I get it. He's just trying to sell a book or an album or a club tour. Less than 2 weeks earlier, Nikki Sixx seemingly also called out Andy for saying negative things about Motley Crue in recent interviews. Without ever mentioning the guitarist by name, Sixx tweeted, "Whenever other musicians start to slag us, I usually look them up and realize they are in the middle of trying to sell a book, music, tour, or something to you using my or our name, things that make you go, hmm." That's a C&C Music Factory song. Things that make you go, It's those things that make you go, McCoy previously discussed his relationship with Nikki Sixx in an interview with Indie Power. McCoy said, "I'm not a farm boy like Nikki Sixx. I'm from the inner city, and I can't stand bullshit like his book. They're full of lies. I saved the guy's life." He added, apparently touching upon a time when he supposedly revived Sixx from a heroin overdose. And he makes up stories, bleeding stories. Referring to another one of Sixx's tales of supposedly getting pummeled with a baseball bat on the floor, we talked about this last time, of a London dealer's flat after another overdose, and he said, I used to play baseball. I was the first lineman. You think someone would survive if I hit him with a baseball bat? Hell no. Hell no, man. Is it a first lineman? I don't think it's a first lineman. I think it's a first baseman. Did they let the baseman hit? Is it separate in baseball? Like you got the guys that do the catching the ball and stuff, but then they don't get to get up and hit the ball, do they? Or do they all get to circle through and play the outfield and play? Get that in the comments below. Sports talk. Yes. Every time I see him, he runs away. This is Andy McCoy. Every time I see old Nikki Sixx, he runs away like a bleeding little lady because he knows what I do. But that's our business. So there you have that. They're clapping back at each other. They should just kiss each other full on with their old faces and their old lips that both need balm on them. Just give each other a deep tongue kiss. You'd be surprised at how quickly you go, I think he's an all right bloke, to be honest with you. You know, you can do drugs together all you want. You give each other a nice deep French tongue kiss, you'll get over your stuff. We're still on the Motley Crue tip here because a Motley Crue fan rushed to the hospital after apparently falling from upper level of the Indianapolis concert. And I can't play the video because someone's going to tattle on me. And then I'll get in trouble for it. According to TMZ, a Motley Crue fan apparently fell from the upper level of the band's concert in Indianapolis Tuesday night, August 16th. That was just a few days ago. TMZ has obtained video of people at the show gathered around the man and tending to him as the legendary 80s rock band was belting out its classic, "He's got the fall that kills, but doo-doo-doo." Boy, this guy must be taken after Vince Neil. He likes to fall down chutes and fall off things and fall down. A witness told the site there was a puddle of blood around the victim. Oh, that's not good. Police and paramedics arrived quickly, placed the man on a gurney, and wheeled him out of the stadium. Let's see. A witness who attended the concert, Stephen Neely, told the 13 News, "We've seen a figure. At first, we didn't think it was a person. We thought it, they had been tossing volleyballs and different stuff around the crowd. But when you heard the thud twice,
Then we knew it was a person. It was like a thud sound. It was really thuddy, like you could hear the audible gasps over the music playing. Everyone was just kind of standing around looking, trying to figure out what to do, who to talk to, who to get to come over to the landing and check the person out. Added another witness. Oh, this is Christy Neely. This is Stephen Neely's wife. We didn't know if they were breathing or not breathing or what was going on. Another man who witnessed the incident told Fox 59 someone fell on top of her boyfriend while he was standing on the landing outside of the seats. I got him back in our aisle, and this is when I saw the man who was on the ground next to where my boyfriend was standing, the woman said. According to the woman, the man who fell was unconscious and blood immediately started pooling around his body. That's not good. The time it took for the medics to get to help was ridiculous. I mean, it was just straight ridiculous, if you know what I'm talking about. It was ridiculous. People around were trying to help, but there was just blood everywhere. Time is of the essence, people, when it comes to injuries like this. I mean, the blood was everywhere. It was pooling up. Was it 3 inches of blood? 1, especially due to blood loss. Yes. A spokesperson for the Indianapolis Police Department told TMZ they assisted an injured person who was awake and breathing. Cops confirmed they were investigating whether the man was extremely intoxicated. He was intoxicated. He leaned over the railing and fell from the upper level to the lower level. His condition is currently unknown. Gosh. Okay, we're just, see, there's a still image of it. Yeah, this guy, he's going, oh boy. Martha. What has just happened? Why? I'm wearing a beautiful white shirt and now it's polka dotted. What is going on here? So there you have that. I hope the guy's okay, but you know, they were in the middle of Looks That Kill. Come on, he's drinking, he's half drunk. He's right there at those the railings there only go up to your balls, your peener, your midsection there. So he's leaning over it so Vince Neil can see him, and he's got a big beer in his hand. He's going, "Hey, got the looks to kill," and he gets the headbanging going on, and then he goes over the side. So you never know what's going on with that. Here we go. About time for a little Skid Row talk. Skid Row, and by the way, I put up the video about who wins. You know, Sebastian Bach. We mentioned that Sebastian Bach and Skid Row played in Las Vegas the same night, and so we kind of compared the videos. This was before the singer Erik Gronwall had mentioned anything about him having leukemia and being in treatments for that, because he joined the band when he started up those treatments. I never mentioned anything about that, but I'm starting to see these comments pop up in there going, "You be nice to him, man. He's diagnosed," and it's like, I didn't know. We're just going off vocal performances, people. Let's get outraged about everything, okay? But I'm just telling you, I never made one mention of that, and I never would make a mention of something like that. I wish the guy all the best in the world. But this says, Skid Row shares new Tear It Down webisode. How singer Erik Gronwall came to join the band. And I also put in there that I thought he did like 18 in Life to Go on, I said America's Got Talent. I should have said Sweden. Sweden Idol. I meant to say, I said America's Got Talent. I meant to say American Idol. And everyone's in there going, "You're dumb. You're a dumb person because it's Sweden's Got Talent." Okay. But he's still up there with an acoustic guitar and he's doing a Skid Row song. Let's get into this. Skid Row has released the 4th webisode in the Tear It Down series. In the 5-minute clip, which can be seen below, the members of Skid Row talk about their new singer Erik Gronwall and his incredible journey that led to him joining the band. Skid Row's new studio album, The Gang's All Here, will arrive on October 14th via Ear Music. The group recorded most of the LP in Nashville, Tennessee, with producer Nick Raskulinskis, who has previously worked with Foo Fighters, Stone Sour, Hailstorm, Evanescence, Rush, and Alice in Chains, among others. That's going to be a good sounding record, methinks he's.
In May, Skid Row shared the music video for The Gang's All Here, The Gang's All Here. And here is the track listing for the 10 tracks that will be on that record. Hell or High Water is the first. Number 2 is The Gang's All Here. Number 3, Not Dead Yet. You got Time Bomb, Resurrected, Now or Nowhere Fast. When the Lights Come On, Tear It Down, October Song. Is that going to be Wake Me Up When October Ends? And A World's on Fire. So that's the 10 songs. Gronwall joined Skid Row in January as the replacement for Z.P. Thiert, who had been in the group for more than 6 years. Thiert played his final gig with Skid Row in February before being officially given the boot. Gronwall was a member of the Swedish hard rock band Heat, and they're pretty good. I like what I've heard from them. With whom he recorded 4 studio albums: Address the Nation 2012, Tearing Down the Walls 2014, Into the Great Unknown 2017, and Heat 2 in 2020 before exiting the group in October 2020. Gronwall was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in March 2021. 6 months later, he announced that he was cancer-free. There you go. After receiving a bone marrow transplant in August. Wonderful. Some anonymous, wonderful human being somewhere in the world donated his or her blood cells so that I could get a second chance at life, he told Headbangers Lifestyle. Sometimes I can just get tears in my eyes when I think about it. It's so beautiful that one person who is not connected to me in any way wanted to do that for me. She doesn't know that the blood cells were for me. It's completely anonymous. Wonderful. Last September, Gronwall released his cover version of 18 in Life via all streaming platforms. Did they do a remake of that, or is this a Gronwall exclusive? In 2018, Gronwall debuted in the U.S. For 10 million viewers in NBC's live broadcast of Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice's musical Jesus Christ Superstar, along with John Legend. What? John Legend, Alice Cooper, Sarah Bareilles, and others. Erik played the key role of Simon Zelotes. So get in the comments and feed me all of that. I know what Jesus Christ Superstar is, but I've never seen it or anything like that. Skid Row bassist Rachel Bolan recently told Meltdown of Detroit's WRIF radio station about Gronwall's addition to the band. Just the way he does things and his work ethic is one I've never seen other than the 4 of us that are already in the band. He just doesn't stop until he gets things absolutely right. Whether it's his version, what he thinks is right, or what he thinks is right, what he thinks is right, okay? He works hard. He works hard. And you can see why he had the success he did overseas, but because he's really, really hard-working singer that takes care of his instrument and takes pride in his craft. Well, I'm sure Rachel Bolan will be carving him up 25% of the royalties and songwriting credit. I'm pretty sure that because he's a hard worker and he works really hard, that the Skid Row guys will give him his cut, give him a nice big healthy share of the revenue from the new record and from the tours. Rachel also reflected on Skid Row's first live performance with Gronwall, saying, "Honestly, dude, from the minute he opened his mouth, his timing is impeccable. We knew it was going to be cool. And each show has gotten even better because we're learning each other's rhythms on stage. When I walk away from that show, I said to Erik, this was show 1. I cannot wait till show 100. It's going to be amazing." Are we going to have a running tally and keep like a running clock on how many shows he plays, see if he gets to 100? Because they've been through 4 singers or so, haven't they? I think they'll keep him around because he's got quite a bit of buzz about him. Yeah, so that's enough of that, I'm guessing. Yeah, here's the webisode. Let's see a little bit of that. Come on.
Parts of a couple shows. We never really had much interaction.
There. He's got his nose thing back.
he took it out for a long time, and I didn't recognize the guy, but he's got his nose to ear ring back.
By the time we were going on, they were leaving the venue and whatever, and then started hearing about his career, about winning Idol in Sweden and
Sweden Idol.
Then further down the line, it's like, well, he auditioned with 18 in Life, and we're like, you got to be kidding me, and so come to February of this year, around there.
It's like, just nod, buddy, just nod. You don't need to pipe in with your life story. Rachel Bowen will do that, okay? You just keep it quiet lips.
I send the guys some of the stuff. I said, listen to this dude. And they're like, yeah, that's the dude from Heat. And they're like, wow, he sings really good. Let's see. Let's just ask him. You know, we sent him a couple new songs. Said, hey, man, just be you. Do what you do on it. They came, he just, like in 24 hours, he did like 2 songs, sent them back. We're like, this is awesome. This is really great. And then we're like, we got on a Zoom. We're like, hey.
What, Erik? You shake your head, nod. You do a little giggle, but that's about it. Okay, bud? Thank you. And then before we get into your comments, we got one more story. The sad James Hetfield has filed for divorce. 25 years. Metallica frontman James Hetfield files for divorce after 25 years of marriage. He tried. That's pretty long time to be married. If you listen to the man that marries you, say sick, poor, bad, health, good, bad, doesn't clean up, you know, whizzes all over the toilet, good, bad, and everything. Sick until death do you part. But they managed to raise their children, and, you know, when he's just got to sit them all down and say, when mommies and daddies fall in love and they have the children and stuff, but then sometimes the mommies and daddies fall out of love. So let's just read a bit of this. According to TMZ, Metallica frontman James Hetfield and his wife of more than 2 decades have called it quits. It says that sources close to the former couple tell the tabloid James filed for divorce from Francesca Hetfield in their home state of Colorado earlier this year. Hetfield met Francesca in 1992 and said, and nothing else matters. And they have been married since 1997. The two are said to still be in touch as they co-parent their daughters, Callie, 20, Marcella, 16, and their son Castor, who's 18. This past May, Hetfield got emotional during Metallica's concert in Brazil, admitting to an audience that he was feeling a little bit insecure prior to taking the stage. That's good. He's vulnerable. Everyone's a human. Yeah, a human being. He might be one of the biggest rock gods of all time, but he's still a human being, and he still has a bad day, and he still has personal stuff going on. James has opened up about his battle with addiction, anxiety, and low self-esteem in the past, most recently last fall while discussing the transformation he had to undergo in order to successfully front Metallica during the tour cycle of the band's 1991 self-titled album, which stands as one of the top-selling records of all time. He told Apple Music's Zane Lowe in October 2021, there was such an expectation already on myself to not let the team down and be the best as possible. But then you add 60,000 people out there. You need to be what they need you to be, because this is what you've evolved to be. And it is a little bit of Oz, referencing the classic 1900 children's book, The Wizard of Oz, by L. Frank Baum, which was adapted into the 2-time Oscar-winning film in 1993. If you want to watch a really cool, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Dark Side of the Moon mashup, but you can watch that on YouTube. Basically what it is it's the very beginning of The Wizard of Oz set to Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and it cuts off, the album ends just about is right when it turns to color and she goes into, but it plays pretty well with each other, you know, it plays pretty good. Like the man behind the curtain, pay no attention, but this guy behind the curtain is just dying and struggling and freaking out and not knowing who he is. He continued, The word unraveling is a great word. Like unlearning all of what happened before. That was part of me, for sure. But it dominated all of me. And the parts that weren't happy about me, there's a huge codependence and insecurity. A lot of that, gosh, I'm no good without these guys. Who am I? Off tour, it's like, who am I? Like any first responder or football player or even soldier, you take your uniform off and you're a civilian again, and you start asking yourself, who am I? I don't know who I am. There was a lot of that, a lot of fear in that. That makes total sense to me when you're one of the biggest heavy metal band in the world, and you're not on stage in front of 80,000 people. It would be a bit, something, Anything else about the divorce? I like the juicy bits where they say, old Francesca was over there playing tickle feet, or whatever it was, but maybe that's just, they fell out of love, and that happens. So, I think James just needs to sit down with, who was it? Marcy, Callie, Marcella, and Castor, and just say, when a mommies and daddies fall out of love, that doesn't mean they fall out of love with you. Castor, sit down. Stop moving around. Eat your pizza rolls, but Daddy's trying to talk to you. We're going to be here for you. And I don't think I have to tell you that there's about $500 million in the bank that you're all going to get one day. So there you have that. And now it's time for your comments. And then we're getting the hell out of here for this episode. I see Mike Buchanan here. And what I've been doing, as per Miss Althea's thing, is if you hit the newest, then it puts him in the most recent comments. So we're going to save Mike Buchanan for the end because he's probably going to have the joke of the he's got the joke of the week. So we're going to save him for the end here, and I'm going to close this so you're not getting your peaky eyes at it. Oscar Salvador. As many know, Metallica covered Thin Lizzy's Whiskey in a Jarro. There was a funny interview. Someone was, where a surviving member of the band joined Metallica on stage overseas for an encore to play the song. God, I just heard a great Thin Lizzy song I'd never heard before. Oh God, what was it called? Don't believe what they say, or don't put it in the comments. I can't remember, but I'm going back to listen to more Thin Lizzy. Because I love me everything I've heard from him. All the classics they used to play on the radio and stuff. Apparently, the Thin Lizzy member thought he was going to get paid or compensated in some way. Metallica had already left, and some crew members tried to give him a few t-shirts and maybe a few guitar picks for his effort. This guy was pissed. This is still Oscar Salvador. Do you or anyone know more details? You're talked of Diamond Head and possibly get together with Metallica triggered this memory. Keep up the fantastic work, Senor Diablo. I will, my friend. There's your heart. Oscar again down here because we're skipping Mike until the end. Now he feels all happy, like he's some kind of. He's like the closer, right? You got the opening act and the guy that goes in between the comedians, and then you got the closer. This is Oscar. I ran into Scott Ian in New York a few years ago. He said it was all about the hair. Joey's mullet was stifling the band's creativity, and John Bush was a better singer and better hair. Wow. Joey also kept pushing for a full rap album. Kerry King had already laid down some tracks and bought Charlie, Frank, and Scott gold necklaces as a thank you for letting him participate in this venture that never materialized, at least not yet. What? Kerry King had already... Oh, I'm going to need to hear more about that, Oscar. Please, Bing, there's your heart. Zeus coming in. Anthrax is in my top 5 bands. I have a tattoo. Why do I like them so much? If you leave out the Bush era, they never made a bad album. Worship music and For All the Kings are as good as their 80s output. Metallica sold out multiple times. Slayer made a new metal album. I agree. Megadeth have more bad albums than good. And Mustaine is a MAGA Bible thumper who supported Alex Jones. He is. Dave Mustaine's nothing bad to say about Exodus or Testament. Scott Ian will tell you that Exodus should have always been in the Big Four, because everyone was ganking off of Exodus, kind of going, "Oh, look at what these guys are doing. We should do a little bit more of that." Also, Overkill is better than most of the bands discussed. As far as lyrics and image go, Anthrax wore their street clothes and didn't pretend to be tough guys. Their songs cover topics like racism, homelessness, mixed in with movie and comic references. Belladonna is the best vocalist in thrash, hands down. Quick fun story. When I saw them on the, what's the record called? Be all and you'll be the end all. State of Euphoria. It was Exodus, Anthrax, Halloween. And when the minute Anthrax came out, the whole barricade was torn up from the floor, and they were holding it over their heads. They had to cut the intro, and Anthrax came out and said, "Whoa, guys, put the barrier down. Put the barrier down." This was at a state fair park. So some people came in and took the barricade away. Anthrax played last. It was Halloween first, Exodus, and Anthrax. And Anthrax just let people stage dive and kind of hang out and sit on the stage through the whole show, because there was nothing they could do about it. They started the intro over, and then they came into "Be all and you'll be the end all." I mean, I agree. I like Anthrax a lot. I really do. I really love Overkill, Testament, Exodus, all of those bands. But there's your heart there, Zeus. Miss Althea. The Dumbstruck Fool says, "You say you don't know how to play, but you're improving. Your improving is pretty damn improving." God, I'm bad with words. "You say you don't know how to play, but your improving is pretty darn impressive." Thank you. A paper cut on your eyeball. Holy moly. I can't even stand it when I have a contact lens rolled to the back of my eye. Ew. Yeah, it was a miserable, painful thing. I didn't think you had nerves in the eyeball itself, but that was absolutely painful. Still, Miss Althea? No, we all have not seen Tommy Lee's Ding Dong. I may very well be the only Crue rock fan on earth who has never seen any of that infamous X-rated footage. I am not suffering. I did watch the Hulu series, though, and many years ago, I did happen to see a bit of the Vince Neil Janine romp. What? Okay, now I got to tell you a story about Janine. Janine's the girl that's on the. I'll have to tell you another time about that. But Janine was the girl that's on the Blink 182, isn't she? The nurse that's got the rubber glove on. And Vince Neil did a romp with Janine, and that was nothing but laughable. I think there was a Bret Michaels and Pamela Anderson video too. Put that in the comments below. Still, Miss Althea, he's on your case and in your face. I swear all I kept hearing in the back of my mind while you were going through the Joey Belladonna story was, "I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm so bad I should be in detention." That's what he says? "I'm the man, I'm so bad I should be in detention." I never knew what he said there. "I'm the man, boo, gata, boo, boo, nah, boo, pati." Anyone who gets impatient with the format of your autopsies should not watch them. That's it. I agree. Because video autopsy, we dissect, we stop, start, rewind, right? I didn't think that I had to keep saying that every time. I've been doing it for well over a year and a half. And I do remember the one on Gene's acting audition reel. Figures something about Simmons had to be the catalyst for channel drama. Even though it did not come directly from him, I noticed the other YouTuber, who shall remain nameless, had his Dawkins videos removed by order of the Bergmeister, a.k.a. Don. So I figured you in good conscience were averting a situation. 100%. When that guy got a hold of me and said, "He just dinged me,"
I'm telling you, folks, teeter-totter. I want to stay as far away from anything that's going to get me in trouble as possible, because I love doing the channel, and it's just like, sometimes you just can't win, but sometimes you don't even know you're doing anything until, 9 months later, and 300 views. Miss Althea was one of 300 views on that Gene Simmons video, right? It wasn't like 300,000 views, and this guy going, my God. Another thing, too, is they can always monetize the video. If you own the copyright to a video I'm doing, you can claim it, and then you make the money from it. If you own the copyright. You have to show proof, I guess, and all that. But, well done, Miss Althea. There's your heart. And John's Life coming in here. I definitely agree with 99% of the people who say Anthrax should not have been part of the Big Four. It should have been the Big Six anyways. And that Big Six, if we are being honest, for true influence OG thrash metal bands, should have been Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Testament, Exodus, and then Anthrax. I memean, labels are labels, right? Big Four. No one really goes into a record shop or a streaming site or whatever and goes, excuse me, which one? I only want Big Four. I don't want Big 5 or 6 or 7. But we all have to admit, Anthrax, Megadeth, Metallica, Exodus, Overkill. I mean, if you wanted to make it a little bit more easier, you could have put made it a little more West Coast, East Coast. Then they could have had the Bloods Against the Crips and stuff, because you got 3 from the West Coast, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, and then you got old Anthrax over on the East Coast. Well, you could have had New Jersey, you could have had Overkill. But it's nevertheless, it's just, I never do anything off Big 4, Big 10, Hot 20 anyways, but, I love all those bands. I love Anthrax, I love them all. So, John's Life, there you go, my friend, kablamo. And that is it, my friends, for another episode of Jive Talkin. And I thank you so much for tuning in. You can always, watch put your comments. If you're listening on Spotify, go over to the YouTube video and get your comments in there so we can get to reading them. Oh, you know what? Oh my God, I almost left you hanging. Mike Buchanan, he's having a conniption right now. Mike Buchanan here. Ukulele, fake it till you make it. Untuned makes it sound so much better. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to tune a ukulele. Dude, I foresee a Michael Sweet collaboration with Elstorm coming soon. Pirate metal. Arrgh. I'm thinking the ladies might like to see Tommy, but it's a nope, nope, nope for me. I can still remember the first time I heard an Anthrax song. I was over at a friend of mine's house, and he was the metal dude of the neighborhood. I was just getting into metal, having started life off with punk, and he knew this. Said to me, "Dude, you've got to hear this." Never told me who it was, and cranked up the stereo hi-fi record player, and the song "Metal Thrashing Mad" came through the speaker. From the first notes, I was hooked. Been a huge fan ever since. I just looked through Metallica's set list from this year, and I didn't see Am I Evil on there. They just started taking that out then, right? Or maybe they haven't played it quite as regularly as they should. Still Mike Buchanan here. Listened to some Diamond Head back in the day, mostly due to Metallica, but once you've heard Metallica's version of the songs, it's hard to go listen to the originals. Still Mike, yes, the girl with the powers in Stranger Things is named 11 due to her tattoo. Oh, they're tattooed with the number because they're just like a sheep or whatever. They're working on them in that science lab. And now, your Jive Talkin' jokes of the week. What do you call a laughing motorcycle? A Yamaha ha 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 ha. That's bad. I've just crashed my... Here's another one. I just crashed my new Kia. Now I have no Kia. Rip to your car, my friend. Yeah. It's sad. I tried to... Okay, here's another one. I tried to climb a real tall tower in France, but I fell off. Oh, my heavens to Betsy. My heavens to Betsy. All right, let's get out of here. Let's see what we can fire up here. Welcome. Back with the Jive Talk, going to hell. Just got done. Gonna go have a little bit of jam on some toast. Give my favorite dog a roast. Hot dogs it is, can't you see? Geez, I need to work on this stuff. Until next time, let's get real tough.